Let's go. Hey, hey. One, two, three, four. Hey, hey, hey. Time to get warmed up. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, we got the place good today, baby. Yes, sir. This JB here from Solution Sports. We back at it. Got another slate. We finna break it down. Hey, man, I hope you all enjoyed the introduction. Finna jump right into it, man. You know, the platform Draftkings. Ain't no day that's gonna be easy when you're trying to get to the mountaintop in this thing here, boy. I tell you, it's gonna test your patience. It's gonna test your nerves at the same time. Some teams had the day off yesterday. Man, we're gonna be back at it again today. Got a really good 8 game slate. There are a couple games I believe that start around 6, but you know we won't be covering those. Um, Hope everybody been over the weekend were able to cash, you know, getting the money, at least qualify. Whatever that means to you is successful. And what you do with it is based on what the goals are that you have when you're playing daily fantasy. It's a daily event. It's every day, man. Right? So we're gonna go into the DK Live app. There's a 640 start with the Astros and Marlins. Framber's on the mound. Valdez, Braxton Garrett. Then you got the Pirates and the Mets at 7:10. That's starting the slate that we're gonna cover here. Should be a pretty good Yankees come to town. I think they had a good win yesterday. You got the A's and the Cardinals. That A's and what was it? The Nationals game had I think it had 11 over under yesterday. That was quite interesting. Cardinals with their crazy pitching staff got Mikolas on the mound and JP Sears for A's. Be interesting to see what the over-under is in that game. The wind is blowing out to 14 miles to the right. You got A's and the Rangers. Scherzer's on the mound for Texas. As you know, the Mets let him go. Sandoval on the mound for the A's. A's make some moves, so you know, two teams there competing should be pretty interesting in the dome atmosphere. Kind of interesting to see how Scherzer's adjusting to that mound in Texas at Globe Life Field. Should be interesting when we go over that. The Mariners and the Royals. Again, coin toss, not really. When you go up against the Royals, you just never know what they're going to bring. But the weather, the wind there looks nasty. 18 miles an hour blowing in. They got some wicked weather going on there in Kansas City. No rain, but very windy. Diamondbacks and the Rockies at 8:40. Mary Kelly on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Chris Flexen for the Rockies. You know, the Rockets pitch staff is not great. Let's kind of look at the Diamondbacks, how they've been. They haven't really been making a lot of noise lately. Um, they're 2-8, yeah. In the last 10 games, they kind of lost a storm there, kind of how Pittsburgh did there for when they was leading the division. So they're slumping, man. They have won 2 in a row, but their last 10 isn't that great. This is an area here where they could try to get back into the swing of things, but they're 12 and a half back. You know, the Dodgers are going to put some steam on. They're going to try to get separation here down that stretch. So if you're an Arizona Diamondback fan, they gotta pick it up, man. They gotta put together at least a 7-3 or something like 8-2. If they want to contend for a wild card, but that wild card is gonna be pretty interesting in the National League. Orioles and the Padres. Kind of interesting game there. Also got some good names on the paper hitting wise, but Darvish has been up and down. Grayson Rodriguez has a high ERA, so that could be a lot of offense in that game. So no rain there. Don't really see any rain today. There's a small chance here in Atlanta, but not much. All the games look like they should get in. Then you got the Rays and the Giants. I think Glasnow didn't make his last start, or he was having some issues. He's scheduled to start against Ryan Walker. That's a 9:45 start in AT&T Park. That's on the West Coast. Wind is blowing out straight 10 miles an hour on that. So pretty interesting matchups. You know, got some decent pitchers like Glasnow for the Rays. You know, if we go up to see what the Rays have been doing, they are mediocre, mid 5-5. Kind of right there. Still, it's kind of interesting how Baltimore is at the top of that division with the way Tampa Bay started the year out. Quite interesting. So let's kind of get to it. Pirates and Mets. Let's see. Going back to our Draftkings platform. Let's start the pitchers here. As you know, if y'all guys looked at the Mets series versus the Braves, it was kind of humiliating. I think they did take the last game, but that was because Chirinos was on the mound, and Chirinos is just kind of a spot filler right now until they kind of figure out, how they want to, kind of mold their starting five in Atlanta. I forgot. I think the young guy Winans had a great game against the Mets in his start, so he'll probably get some more looks. Elder's been kind of shaky here and there. They brought Chirinos over, but he just doesn't have the velocity and stuff like that to be a top tier pitcher. He's kind of really should be in the bullpen, but I mean, even with mid-grade pitchers with the Braves, with the kind of offense they got, they can still help a mid-level pitcher get a win. So Carrasco again, I don't really, when he was with Cleveland, he was really good, but he's been through a lot of injuries, and you can look at his ERA, 6.42. If you look at what the Braves did against Pittsburgh did against the Braves, this could be a similar story here. So Pittsburgh is very dangerous right now. Right now, the Mets ain't really doing nothing. They're not going anywhere. Pittsburgh has a lot to play for right now. Even though they've slumped a lot, sad. I mean, they're under 500. They was winning this division at one point, but kind of an uphill battle. Milwaukee's a well coached team. The Cubs, they're pushing strong. Their lineup is looking good. Cincinnati's young and up and coming. I mean, that 8 games they're behind Cincinnati is not good, and the Cubs. So, but this is a team they need to take advantage of. I don't think the Mets after that Brave series. I'm pretty sure they got called out a lot. It should be interesting to see how they react against a young team like this. I mean, Carrasco's a veteran, but he just has a lot of hard contact, man. I mean, he gets a lot of fly balls. Look at this game against Kansas City. He had a -4, -8. So, um, let's kind of refresh here. Let's see what our expected lineups is. We look at covers also, and so right now they got Swinsky at the top, man. Swinsky was batting like at the bottom of the order against the Braves, and even though he's going against some lefties, he was hitting the ball well. So that's very dangerous right there for Carrasco. I mean, he's gonna have to go up against Sawinski there at the top of the order, and Reynolds batting from the left side. He can definitely. I know this guy's swing in and out. He's a threat. McCutcheon has probably seen him a lot in his career. He's a veteran. I mean, then they got Kibron Hayes pretty much swapping with Sawinski. Sawinski was batting down here where Hayes was. Peguero had a good series against the Braves. So these names they don't get called out a lot. Pittsburgh's not like a big market team, but they got some very talented players and hitters in their lineup. On the other side, this guy Quinn Priester has a high ERA, and same goes for him. I mean, the Mets have some dangerous batters in their lineup. Vogelbach was really struggling. He was hearing it from the crowd in that Brave series, and he finally got a home run, and he finally got on base. So I don't know what that means for him, but they got some lefties in this lineup that can give Priester some issues. A lot of lefties. So they got, Lindor took a day off in that Brave series, but he's back in the lineup. Nemo. So this game should be a lot of offense, honestly. There's other covers. Yeah, man, I'm seeing a lot of offense in this game. It's kind of hard. If I was in the Vegas syndicate, man, it's kind of hard to really to predict this game. I just know I wouldn't take any of the pitchers. Um, there's some juice in this game. It really is. The thing is just the salaries of the players, the hitters. Um, Pete looks like he's kind of locked in, man. He got a lot of walks in that Braves series. Before the Braves series, he had 2 walks in the second game, but they wasn't giving him nothing to hit. They wasn't. Braves were not playing around with him. They pitched around him, pitched him pretty tough. But that Chicago series, he was lighting the ball up, man. So, Pete Alonso, he can definitely win a slate for you. He's one of those guys that hit 2 home runs in the game. So I definitely like him. Lindor hasn't went deep. I don't know if he's kind of packed it in. He only played twice in that Brave series. But he's always a threat when he's batting from the left side. So he's definitely in play against this guy. I like I like Nemo. I like McNeil. I don't know who they're starting for the catcher. It says Alvarez. I mean, if you want to go, with Vogelbach and hope that he cans one over the right field wall. He's just there to do one thing. That's just to hit a home run. He doesn't have a lot of speed. But if he gets an opportunity, he can get some RBIs. He had 3 in this game. It was a blowout game when he got that home run. But because he bats behind so many people, I mean, he has an opportunity to drive some runs in. Mets stack could be sneaky today, and they're gonna kind of start getting into a place where it's gonna be a lot of observance. The management and the owners spent a lot of money on this team. They expected a lot of expectation, and I think they're gonna start kind of evaluating a lot of players and seeing where their heart is with this team. So you might see some hitters, maybe even be auditioning for other teams. So I think the tide is going to turn with the Mets, and these players might start turning it up because either time's going to be short with New York if they don't improve, or they're going to just be playing hard so they can have a job if they want to stay in New York, or maybe move on to another team. But they're not making the playoffs, and they definitely ain't winning the NL East. But I mean, one last look at this here. This Priester guy, he's very cheap, 5,300. I mean, I mean, 4-4. He hasn't even went over. He hasn't reached 6 or 7 innings this year. That's a red flag. Doesn't have any 20 fancy points performance. So what's some of his issues? He gives up the long ball. 2 here against Cleveland, 2 against San Diego. Um, Nothing against Philly. That's kind of a decent game, but he still gave up 5 home runs. The only thing that saved him against Philly, Philly does strike out moderately well. I mean, 7 strikeouts, so that's why he wasn't in the negative. But 9 hits in the Atlanta series, 5 against Milwaukee. I mean, he's giving up more hits than innings pitched, in 4 of the 5 games he started. Hasn't, went over 90 pitches in any starts. Nothing to really like there. He's a righty, and the Mets have a lot of talented lefties in their lineup with Nimmo and McNeil and Lindor. So, and with Mets, I mean, if you want to build a Mets stack, run it. I see a Mets stack in play, man. Honestly, at least 3 of the players, Lindor or Alonso. Um, I mean, Vogelbach can be sneaky, so, you know. Mets are just one of those teams, man. They're like a juggernaut, man. But on paper, it looks good for a lot of offense in that game, guys. I mean, for the first game, could be some fireworks there. All right, so let's go on to the Yankees and the Braves series. Um, Max Fried on the mound. The Yankees aren't really. If you look at the face value of just their symbolism, they're not what the characters represent. They're not that. Okay. They're not fooling anybody, and they ain't scaring anybody. Judge hasn't really had a complete year like he did last year. He had the foot injury. Taking a lot of walks, of course. 2 in the Miami series. They pitch around him a lot. He's doing the smart thing by not trying to overexert himself and trying to get on base. So, he hasn't. I mean, he is safely. Since he's been back. I mean, he's been hitting. Hasn't had like a big game, but he's kind of just the Judge that we know. He's taking his time at the plate. He's picking through the pitches, and he's gonna swing the bat to what he wants. So he's dangerous on any night. That's why it's Saturday 6,400. Even though that Max Fried is on the mound, it doesn't matter. I mean, he can take anybody deep. So if you like Judge, definitely play him. Fried looked good in his last start, I believe, if I can recall. I think he had a very good start. Well, I'm thinking about the Chicago one. Yeah. So again, the Pittsburgh series, they man, those first couple of games, man, Pittsburgh was competing with us, but he looked good against the Cubs in his first game back. He didn't give up the long ball in that game. He just gave up a lot of hits, man. So I don't know what was going on with him in that game, but hopefully, he can bounce back today. Yankees do strike out moderately. I think Casey Schmidt didn't look bad in his last start. I think I did take him in my lineup. That was against the White Sox. most pitchers with decent stuff should dominate. He did his job, gave him 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, had 7 strikeouts. His only issue was 1 home run. So he's going against. I mean, all all the pitchers on New York, they're mid, man. None of them outside of Cole is really against a team like Atlanta. Is not really worth rostering, honestly. So Atlanta's dangerous at home, man. That's all I gotta say. They play lights out at home. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be amped up for this game. Um, Going against the Yankees, everybody was talking about the Yankees and the Mets at the beginning of the season, and nothing's piled out with them. So their pitching is not good. Their bullpen hasn't been the greatest. So I mean, Max Fried is one of the Atlanta aces. When he's on, he's tough, man. This guy he can locate pitches like anybody. So um, at home, not the best. Again, he's been kind of hurt most of the year. Only started 7 games, 3-0 on away games. He only he had started 2 games at home, lost one. Gave up the long ball. So he's still kind of working in progress. He's going to kind of be like a light on, light off kind of guy, but he's definitely worth rostering against the Yankees. Um, Again, when you look at it, outside of the Judge, really, man, like, the rest of his lineup is mid. I mean, they're so hot and cold. No Volpe looked pretty good in the last couple of games, but I mean, LeMahieu's been not been who he's supposed to be. No fair in IKF. Bader, he might get lucky here and there. I mean, all you got to do is just be careful to Judge, man. He should be able to handle all these other guys. Gleaver is cool. I mean, I never really I like Gleaver, but I don't think he's great in the leadoff position. So, again, Schmidt, he's going to have an issue, man. I mean, with Olsen, it looks like Olsen really wants to win that home run title. He's on a mission, man. Murphy's dangerous. Man, you got Rosario and Harris is hitting ball good. Everybody, you all know about the Braves, so I don't need to explain that one to you. They should be favored in this game. Minus 218 on the money line. Look at that. 9 over under. I'm pretty much most of those runs are pushing for the Braves. At least 7 of those runs are probably Atlanta, honestly. But they're believing in Freed, and they're favoring the Braves a lot. The consensus is on the Braves side. I mean, it's just really not much to really like about the Yankees right now. So that's gonna be a good game to get some popcorn and watch. But I mean, I like all of Atlanta's lineup. Is again when y'all do my podcast, it's just really up to who you want to get in there. You know what I'm saying? And I know Max Fried is a competitor. He did look good against Pittsburgh. I know he's going to try to come out here and kind of destabilize New York, even though they're coming off a win. And not to say that New York won't be amped up either, because they're going against a division leader. They know everybody's talking about Atlanta, and they may come in here with a little grit and might want to flex. But again, Atlanta, they're tough at home, and they don't back down from nobody. They're a tough out. You might be up on them by 3 or 4 runs. They'll have like a 4. They'll come right back with 3 runs. So they're always a crowd favorite. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be on them. I mean, they're always a good single entry stack to play. So let's look at Schmidt's walk, because you cannot put Braves on the basis for free. So he's walked at least one, two, three, four, one player in his last 5 games. What's good to note here, in the last 5 games, he hasn't had any double, like more than 1 walk. So that would help him a little bit. But the Braves don't strike out a lot. He had 7 against the White Sox, 4 against Houston, only 2 against Baltimore, and 2 in Kansas City. So he's gonna have his work cut out for him. Definitely, if he doesn't locate, and he seems like he doesn't have an out pitch, because all of the Braves hitters, for the most part, they have a great eye. They have a really, really good eye, man, at the plate. That's what makes him so dangerous. You can't really fool him, and he ain't that kind of deception kind of pitcher, right? So like Atlanta, there, like their whole lineup. I mean, I don't really like anybody outside of really Judge, honestly, man. Judge and maybe Gleaver because he may get about 5 at bats. He might get on base, but um, that's really about it, man. I don't really like Stanton. I just know Freed will be able to kind of locate that pitch on the outside corner. Stanton probably just wave at it. So he's still dangerous, but I like Atlanta, man. All right, we're going to Oakland, St. Louis. Guys, I mean, I hate really talking about the Cardinals. They ain't playing for nothing right now. They're 12 and a half back in their division. They're playing 500 ball. They won their last game. They're going against the Oakland team again. Oakland, some kind of way, I believe they coughed up. Let me look at this. I know one of those games against Washington, they was out front, and then they let Washington find a way to come back in that game. Yep, and they won 8-7. That was crazy. I think the over under in that game was 11. It ended up being 15. I knew it was gonna go over 11. There was no pitching in the game. A little bit better pitching with Jay Sears on the mound. He's a lefty. Um, Splits wise, hasn't won against St. Louis. Again, none of these teams are really playing for anything, honestly. Oakland at 37 games back, so Mikolas, let's see what he's been talking about. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this team. They're so frustrating. Um, Again, I mean, he's giving up earned runs, giving up a lot of hits. He has been kind of in the strikeout ball. He's been giving him innings pitch. You always gotta proceed with caution with this guy, man, because he can look really good and he'll look really bad. I don't really care who the opponent is, but he got you over his average in the last 2 games. I mean, Minnesota strikes out a lot, so that's understandable. The 17 against Tampa Bay was kind of surprising, but that is a pitcher's part. Gave up 8 hits. That's not good. Seemed like a lot of things just went his way in that game. I don't know how he got away. He had some kind of magic wand to get them 17 points, man. But listen, man, guy giving up 8 hits and then 11 against the Cubs. I can't recommend him against anybody, man. I don't think he does that well at home. Yeah, 4.78 ERA. I know he got the A's, but I mean, the A's can put up runs. And it's in major leagues, man. Anybody can put up runs against anybody. So, I believe Mikolas is. I think he's righty. And they have some pretty good lefties, as we know, in that Oakland lineup. It just depends, they don't have anything out now. But this guy Geloff is really good, man. He had a lot of people in the audience, a lot of family and friends came to watch him play in that last series against Washington, man. He had 2 home runs. He helped me cash yesterday. I took that game yesterday between Oakland and Washington. Took a lot of players out of that game because I knew it wasn't any pitching. And he had a great game. This guy's going to be a really good player, man. I mean, somebody on Oakland 4,500, that should tell you something right there. Ruiz didn't play yesterday, but he probably might be back. He's kind of struggling at the plate, but he's always a threat when he gets on base to steal. I believe Rooker came back. Yep. So he scored a run yesterday. Actually, he didn't play yesterday. Actually, I take that back. He did play. So he's a righty, but Rooker is good. I think Seth Brown came out of his shell a little bit. I was playing him there consistently there for a while because he bats in that cleanup position, but he had a good game. He's a lefty there. He could definitely give Mikolas some issues. So, I mean, you can pick like 3 players out of this game if you want. Like Bleday is good. Bleday is very consistent. I like him. I mean, they're gonna be good, man, but they just need time to evolve. They need a fresh start. They need to get out of that stadium in Oakland and kind of resurrect that fan base. Because back in the day when they had Ricky Henderson and Canseco, that was a team, man. Oakland was a powerhouse. But I like Geloff if he's in there. I like Rooker. Ruiz should come out of that slump today. He just needs to be comfortable. I root for this guy. He's like their Ricky Henderson, man, honestly. But he can't be effective if he doesn't get on base. He doesn't have a lot of power, but again, he can easily get you 15 points. If he gets a single or a double and score, he can easily score easily off of a single from second base. So it's just if you want to gamble with him. But there are some runs here to have on the Oakland side. You just gotta trust it. There's a nine live over under 8.5. Minus 218 to me. I mean, it's kind of a lot for St. Louis for a slumping team. For a pitcher who doesn't really pitch that well at home. Like, I don't know what they see in that. JP Sears hasn't been bad this year either. I mean, he's held his own in certain games this year. He's kind of probably one of their better pitchers, honestly. I mean, all their pitchers are not going to have a good win record because they can't really score runs like that. They weren't scoring runs, but he had a 24 against Cleveland, 21 against Detroit, 19 there against Minnesota. I mean, he's averaging about 14 points a game, so he's a lefty. I mean, that's good going against St. Louis. I mean, probably the only person that you come to mind is Arenado because um, Goldschmidt really don't hit lefties that well. I don't know if New Bar is going to be in the lineup today, but um, let's see. Again, he's lefty too, right? So yeah, he didn't play yesterday, so he's a lefty. So I mean, if you want to take a risk on Sears and hope that he gets you about 15 to 20 points, let's see how he pitches on the road. I mean, he can be sneaky. He ain't $5,000. He's 7,400. He has some value. You know, you can get strikeouts. You know, you're looking for in these 19, like 20-point games. You know, that's what you're looking for. 19 against Houston, 15 in Texas, 23. I mean, he has some good ceiling games. It's just if you want to take the risk, man. And Oakland can definitely get him some runs because Mikolas, he looked bad this year. So dangerous sleeper right there. All right. The real only person I like in their lineup is Arenado. Honestly, I mean, I don't think Goldie's went deep in a while. I mean, he's had a few home runs against some lefties, but he's due. Look at all these donuts over the past few days. So he's at 5,800. I mean, he have to do it against a lefty today. There's a good chance he goes deep today, guys. So, Edmund made, he's been hitting from the right side a lot lately. He's playing for something. 2 hits in his last 3 games, guys. 2 hits against Kansas City in the 12, another 2 on the 11th, 2 against Tampa Bay in that last game. He's rolling, man. So he's a switch hitter. I think Contreras does pretty good against righties. He's definitely a threat. So they're favoring him, man. So I mean, St. Louis are definitely they're gonna score in this game. So again, I mean, looking at the first 3 games, if you was looking at sample size, I mean, you can mix in a little St. Louis. You can mix in a little St. Louis with a little bit of Mets. You are taking polar bear spot with Goldie. Third base. I mean, Arenado. He hasn't went deep in the last 4 games. You take the core of that lineup. Edmonds he's swinging the bat really good. Max Fried there. We can drop McNeil in the second base spot. some people who gonna try to get lucky and draft Mikolas because he's lower salary and they want to try to get some Braves players in their lineup. But Brady Singer's been pitching great. He's like in Cy Young motion. He's been giving up, mediocre runs here and there. Not a lot of hits in the last few games, but in the last 4 games, they're only giving up one long ball. So he's gonna be kind of highly owned. Seattle's kind of one of them juggernaut teams. So with Fried and Sninger, with one without we can roster up to 3,400 per player with 2 strong guys with St. Louis. We got lefty out of McNeil. We're going with Edmund again, right? So you even look at that Oakland team, and they have some players who are if Bleeday's in there, you drop Bleeday in there, $3,000. Um, you could definitely look at Seth Brown again. He might be on the verge of starting something here. You can run it back again, man. You know what I'm saying? So we got a little bit of both sides. So we don't leave that like that, man. So don't like any of the pitchers. JP, you can run JP if you want. You can run JP if you want. I don't like Mikolas, man. He don't just have to beat me or beat us today if you don't play him. So a little bit better matchups, man, out here than go against a team like Oakland, who ain't got really nothing to lose. They gonna be swinging freely up there, and Mikolas stuff is not that good, man. Honestly. All right, so you got Matt Max on the mound going against the Angels. Definitely want to go straight to the standings. They're slipping 1 game under 500. They're 3-7. They're the same team without Trout in that lineup, and they made a big splash for Rendon. And Rendon, he's been hurt all year. They had to bring in some reinforcements, and it's a work in progress. And to be in the second half of the season and still trying to get an identity is not the way. I even looks like Otani's frustrated with just the whole makeup of that team. And their pitching hasn't really been that great either, right? So they run into a Mad Max today. Not really good. If you want to look at what these guys are, they're down here at 26 in strikeouts. So Scherzer's looking good for strikeouts, guys. You don't have to pray a lot for him. There is some power in that lineup, though, with Anaheim, of course. And that first game on the mound in Texas, he didn't look very well. So I don't know. He's trying to get adjusted to the mound there. Going back to covers again. And that A's, again, minus 218 for the Cardinals, 64% consensus. Everybody's thinking Mikolas will just run away with that, but I got news for it. I don't think so. Alright, so minus 180 for Scherzer, kind of interesting. Scherzer's been, he's won a lot of money for people over the years, so a lot of people are going to be biased. But the minus 180 is less than what the Braves are. The Braves are minus 218 against the Yankees. St. Louis is minus 218 against the A's, and then you come down here to the Angels and Rangers games, a minus 180. So, hey, quite interesting. So he's a righty. Of course, Otani bats left, right? Who else is a lefty in that lineup? I think Rengifo's a lefty, right? If you look at some of the Angels, where he's going to be going up against. I always like Drury. Man, Cron's, he's day-to-day now, so that's not good. There's a lot of injuries, man. Neto's IL, Urshela's IL. Sad, man. They've just been plagued by a lot of injuries offensively. Man, they brought Grichuk and Cron over, and now Cron is day-to-day, so. so much of their identity missing, man. I mean, definitely Scherzer's worth a look. You know, Tony might take him deep, but who knows? But um, I'm still. I think Scherzer gets at least seven to eight, nine strikeouts in this game. Honestly, man, because they just haven't been mass producing runs like that consistently all year. That's why they're one game under 500. He has been giving up the long ball here and there. But he's been doing his job. I mean, even from the fantasy standpoint, he's been giving you the last three games over 20, 24 points. So, took care of Oakland, in Oakland. He's in Texas, so I like the matchup, man. I do. Get him in your lineup if you can find some bats to put with him. But I mean, you might want to roll out a couple of Rangers today against Sandoval. He's a lefty, so already Garcia looks like a good play. Josh Jung, I don't know if he's back, but he looked good against San Francisco. The San Francisco strikes out a lot. They're kind of going through the same thing the A's are. A lot of people on the IL trying to get back healthy. Didn't look good against the Braves. Who does? Took care of the Yankees. That's why I said, Max Fried was good today against the Yankees. Had 7 strikeouts in that game, 7 innings. Didn't win that game. So he hasn't won the last 2 games. Him being left, I mean, you look at the expected lineup. And they got Simeon, who's dangerous. Garcia, dangerous. Duran is dangerous. Jonah Heim is dangerous. Tavares is dangerous. Even Seager going against the lefties is dangerous. So they're up to their normal thing here and there. And again, the line is at 8.5. I pretty much see Texas getting about 5 to 6 of those runs, if not more. And it's gonna be a test for him, just like the Atlanta series. So 5 innings against Atlanta, 5 against Detroit. Should have dominated them, but I mean, he won the game. But how much fantasy points do you think he really is going to get against Texas today? So I don't think it's any kind of anomaly mix in here. Hasn't went against them this year. He's on the road, so road wise, not bad. But he's averaging 12 fantasy points a game going against a tough team. So there's no value in that. So definitely Scherzer. I don't really see much offense here for them. I mean, Drury got power. I mean, he's batting from the right side. He hasn't went deep in the last 4 games. But, I mean, when people kind of hard to get on the base, it's kind of hard to really manufacture runs, man. Pretty sure Moniak will be in there. He has 12 home runs. I mean, he can get lucky. I mean, he's batting lefty. So that's not good. It says they're going to get Scherzer, man. He's a tough customer, man. When he gets going, he's tough, man. So I don't know, man. If you're gonna go with somebody and try to get lucky, man, you have to go with somebody that can hit the ball far. Those people are Renfro, Drury, Otani. Grichuk, every once in a while, can get into one, but I don't really see a lot. I see a lot of hope for them versus Scherzer. Maybe they prove me wrong, but I'm not gonna bet on that, man. All right, I ain't gonna even roster anybody out that game. Let me see what their catcher position is for Texas. I don't know if Mitch Garver's been doing pretty good. They got okay, so it appears like Jonah Heim might get a nod. Okay, so he did come back from the injury list, but he went 0 for 3. So maybe he turns the tide today. He's batting from the right side. I know he bats good from the left side. So, but he's turned around to the right side. So you can never. He's cheap. Coming back off of the IL, he's 3,400. You just drop him in there. All right, he can't go nowhere but up. Alright, got Seattle and Kansas City. Let's go to coverage straight ahead. This is kind of a tricky game. So, minus 148. Got Logan Gilbert on the mound. Let's look at Logan and see what he's been up to. look at both pitchers. This is gonna be about pitching here. Who can stabilize? Had a great game against San Diego. 12 strikeouts. He's a strikeout guy, man. So I think Kansas City has their fair share of striking out. They're 17th here on the map, kind of on the bottom, lit on the starting on the bottom half. So hasn't went up against them all year. 9,700. I mean, somebody who just went with 12 strikeouts, and um, everybody's gonna be looking at that. I mean, he went up another $1,000 after that game. So Boston is a tough out. He only had 12 against them. Didn't give up the long ball against San Diego, which was a big part of success. Only gave up one hit in 7 innings. So he can give you 100 pitches. This is definitely worth a shot. I mean, he's going against Kansas City, so I'm not certain who they're going to roll out today. I don't know if they're going to give anybody a rest, but looks like the normal suspects are there. But I like Gilbert, man. You just got to throw him out there. I mean, if he commands, man, he should be able to really take care of that lineup. He's a great play, honestly. Trying to figure out what to do with Brady Singer now is the question. I do have him in my lineup, and he's a righty. I mean, he's been consistent, man. Honestly, he hasn't been getting up the long ball a lot. He got 108 strikeouts this year. 4 against Boston, 4 against the Mets, 10 against Minnesota, 9 against the Yankees. And he's just kind of one of them anomaly pitchers, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could probably like swap him out for Gilbert, and let's see where that puts us for our last position. That gives us 2,200. So, see, everybody's gonna be on a lot of money. Gonna be on Gilbert because of what he did in the last series, and everybody gonna not even look at Singer. Everybody pretty much gonna write Singer off, and they're gonna just jump all on Gilbert and think, oh, he's gonna strike out the whole side. Which might, I mean, you probably get his fair try. This is one of those. They got a over under on his strikeouts on prospects, I'll stay away from it. Because they're gonna manipulate it based on what he did in the last game. I bet you they'll probably set it like at 8. And he probably won't even get more than like 4 or 5 like he did in these games. That's how they do, man. A great record. I mean, shouldn't really fear anybody, but I mean, in Kansas City, but I mean, their fans are sneaky. Melendez, they got some real sneaky batters, guys. And they're tough, man, to really to predict, man. Massey's sneaky. Got 10 home runs on the year. So Bob Witt is a great talent. He's not a lefty, but another great talent there. So I mean, you can roster a few of these guys and see if you get lucky, like a Melendez. If you get the right kind of swing, you could take him deep. He's kind of a one-off player. Hadn't really did anything since that second game in Boston when he had 2 home runs. Kind of cooled off in that St. Louis game, but he's a hot and cold batter. But I mean, when he sees the ball good, he can break your lineup out, man, for you. So based on Gilbert's performance recently, and Seattle definitely needing to continue to compete. They're 6.5 games back. This is a team that they're supposed to beat. They're playing good ball, guys. 8-2. They dropped the last 2. They could have probably been 10-0. But they're playing good, man. I mean, they're on the road, so let's see how Gilbert pitches on the road. And away, a little bit better, 9.98. So Kansas City is kind of a pitcher's park a little bit. So good matchup for him. I mean, I know Singer's in my lineup, but you probably want to know some batters, And immediately, Raleigh, he's a great left-handed. He's a switch hitter, but didn't do anything in the last game. But I mean, he's somebody that you definitely can take a risk on because he can break out and get you 15 to anywhere from 15 to 25 points. Where he sits in the lineup, he's gonna get a lot of RBI opportunities. So he's batting third today. He might go down to 5 or so, but he's batting behind J Rod and Suarez. He's gonna get something to hit, before Hernandez comes up there in top friend. So he's definitely in play for sure. I mean, Suarez hits righties very well. So their top of the lineup looks good, guys. So we'll move on from that game. Hopefully that there's some risks that you can take, man. Singer can take a risk on him, man. He's been pitching good. He's been getting out of situations and allowing his team to be in certain games and win. Again, Kansas City, they're getting a lot of the young guys getting a lot of playing time. They're learning the fundamentals of the game. They're learning the science of hitting. You can see a lot of things paying off for that team. So they're a sneaky team, man. And and Seattle, they've lost 2 in a row. So and then going on the road, losing 2. So Kansas City is going to be playing free, man. It's been another good game to watch. Arizona and Colorado. Again, Colorado's weakness has been their pitching staff. If we look at any splits, haven't pitched again. A lot of these teams are meeting each other for the first time, but nothing really here to about flexing. There's no need for Colorado to try to go out and pay a lot of money to go get pitching. So that's why they just let these bullpen guys start these games, because that's what they are. They're borderline bullpen guys, grapefruit league guys. But this is a game Arizona needs to win. They need to get back on the winning side of things. They don't need to come in here and play around with Colorado and give them any kind of motivation. They're losers of their last 5, man. So Arizona just L10 last 10 just haven't been looking good. They have won 2 in a row. They need to really sweep the Rockies, honestly. So this could be a game where a lot of runs go on the Arizona side. 11.5 over under, guys. A lot of runs in this game. So definitely get some bats out of this game, man. When a over under is that high, most of the usual names that bring runs in are going to be in play. Kidder Marte, Christian Walker, Corbin Carroll. It's just they're expensive once again. So Corbin hasn't went deep in a while, guys. He's definitely due. But you don't pay 6 G's for him. He's a lefty going against flexing. So but all the baseball guys know everyone's looking at Carroll and Marte. These are the 2 guys that if you stacking that you probably will start out that could definitely get you 20 to 30 points on a good night. Christian Walker is another sneaky play. We know first base is full of a lot of power, to pick from. But he's a guy, man, that once he's rolling, man, he's tough, and they like to put him in a cleanup spot. They got Tommy Pham from the Mets. He's batting 261. He's a good hitter, man. When he's not striking out and he's taking his time at the plate, he can be very productive. So Arizona stat definitely looks good. Arizona stat looks good. I don't know where Pham may bat in the lineup. Let's see. So he's batting right behind all the good hitters. Walker, Gurriel. So he's DHing. So Pham is a good play, man. He might be able to just, have one of those good, situational games where you get some RBI opportunities and bring some guys home. I think Kelly's coming back from injury. Yeah, he was day to day, so he's 8-100. So he had a right leg cramp, so he had to be taken out of the game. He had 6 shutout frames before taking out the game, so that's sad. Bad opportunity. That was against the Dodgers. So I like Merrill today. I don't really. He had a good game against Colorado, guys. So you can run him back out there. Hopefully, he don't cramp up again. But he's pretty much a safe play. Colorado got rid of Cron and Grichuk, and they're looking at some of the younger guys like Doyle and Taglia, Montero. Nolan Jones been swinging the bat good. McMahon's kind of like their, um, he's kind of like their Freddie Freeman. Their profile is just there to just wreak havoc at the top of the lineup. He's a switch hitter that's good from the left side. So if you want to be sneaky, you probably get some very low percentage players against a guy who still kind of recovering from the cramp. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just a day thing, but they have put it as day to day. But they seem like something might be wrong with him. He might not be full strength because the over under is 11.5. That's a lot, man. So, Diamondbacks can put up a lot of runs, but I think the Rockies are going to have some say, at least in three, 4, 5 runs out of that 11.5. So, McMahon, Profar, Nolan, the lefties, all the lefties look good. Elias Diaz is dangerous. He does have power. So they can be sneaky now. And, they're 2-8, so they haven't been playing great, even though they won the last two. So they are vulnerable. Arizona is vulnerable. They're traveling on the road. And it's in Coors Park, so his road away is not bad. A little bit better ERA. Yeah, so 2 games less than home games, 9 games versus away versus 11. So he's doing a little bit better on the road, but he's at Coors, so that's why there's a lot of runs because it's at Coors Field. So I would stay away from these pitchers. I think Kelly, you don't really know what to expect of him, and cramping can be something that can be very tricky. Because if it happened to him on the mound, to say it won't happen again or it won't affect him. And he's been susceptible to giving up the long ball too. 2 against Minnesota, which is disappointing. 1 against Seattle. So he has been giving up the long ball. All right. Again, Colorado don't have anything to lose, so they'll be very loose at home tonight. That's why I'll stay away from that game. We got Baltimore and San Diego. We got Darvish and Rodriguez. Darvish's been kind of mid to me. He's had some sights of brilliance, and then he just looked dog right awful at times, or not living up to his full potential. So we'll give him a pass against the Dodgers. 7 innings. He gave up 2 runs. He had 4 strikes. His strikeout's been kind of down, man. Not where it needs to be. He had 9 against Texas. I don't know what it was about Texas, but he had it out for him in that one there. But he can't give you 6 or 7 innings, right? And Baltimore is leading their division, and they're not leading because they're slouches. They can hit the ball. They have some good lefties in that lineup, so I'll stay away from Darvish. I don't like the 8,700, salary. I just think these fools go, man. He's going against a good team today. Baltimore good. This is probably a tough one to look at on coverage, man. On Vegas. So it's not. Look, they got more consensus for Baltimore than San Diego. It's a tough game. They had an 8 over under, and I think it should be more. I think it should be more like 10. So Darvish gonna give up some hits, man. I don't know what it is. He just doesn't. Sometimes he just rattle there in San Diego. I don't know what it is. Home games, he's giving up 12 home runs in that park, man. And 11 games started. That's not good, man. And Baltimore got some power up and out of that lineup, man. So you can roster them, but I don't like playing up against Baltimore, man. They can put up a 3, 4, 5 spot against anybody. This guy's been kind of mid. Hasn't won a game in his last 5 starts. The only good thing on his log right now that stands out to me, he doesn't give it the long ball, but he's walking a lot of people, and that's not good against a San Diego team. And they got Bogarts and Soto and Nino and Hassan Kim. He can't walk, Penny All-Stars, all-star caliber players in their park. They're gonna hurt you. So what's been saving him? He's been giving you at least 5 innings, strikeouts. Decent, 4 to 6. Yeah, you keep the ball in the park and let your defense help you. That's been helping him. I mean, he just hasn't been translating to wins. We want winners. Me as a Solution Sports, we like winners. I need to see some wins over here. Yeah, you're winning with no home runs, but you're not winning over here. So strikeouts are kind of mid. I mean, the amount of starts he's had, he's got 80 strikeouts. So on the road, he's doing good. That's a good sign. So I don't know what tickles your fancy if you like that, but I know San Diego can look bad at times, but I don't really trust putting this guy up against Soto and El Nino and Bogart, some experienced guy. They may intimidate him on the mound, and he's been walking a lot of people, so that's not a good thing. So San Diego, I mean, they're sitting at 15 and a half back. They're kind of like the Mets of the NL West, man. They've dropped their last two, and they're playing Baltimore at home, so it's not going to be an easy series for them in any way, because Baltimore, they got a job to do. As you can see, they're trying to fend off Tampa Bay and Toronto, so another good game to watch. Don't like any of the pitchers. If you want to look at the hitters, and I'm confident to go against Darvish. Because Darvish, man, when he can't locate the ball, he looks very mediocre. So I know Mullins came back a few days ago, and he had a good game the last game. He finally went deep, came back on 11. He's one of my favorite players in the league. Him and like Jazz Chisholm, they kind of two nice lefties. Can hit, for power, speed. Great leadoff hitters, man. I really like him. So, get him in your lineup, man. He's not an easy out. I really like Mullins a lot. Santander, he's been pretty stable for them. He knows his role on the team. His role is to try to, get on base and this right here and bring runs in. And he can hit for power. He got over 20 home runs this year. So this is gonna be a really good game to watch. Honestly, I mean, Gunnar Henderson's been coming on. A lot of talent in this game. He's been hitless. He's been kind of struggling here, man. So he's kind of tricky, But I mean, Darvish was really good in his prime with the Cubs. He got traded, man. And he's just been up and down, man. And Baltimore's gonna come in this game. They're gonna give him all he can handle. All right, so Mountcastle got 15 home runs. First baseman, he's always in play. All right, so he's definitely an RBI guy. So I'm kind of leaning Baltimore, man. I'm just very disappointed in San Diego this year. Yeah. Only thing they got going for him is that this guy, he's not a premier pitcher. Okay. And he's walking a lot, so I mean, if he, you look at the expected lineup here. If he walks Son Kim or Son Kim gets on base, he's gonna have a lot of issues. And I ain't even talked about Machado and Bogarts, who've been kind of hitting the ball a little bit better, and then Cronenworth. So you can stack against this guy. Try these three players out of San Diego. I think a guy like Tatis, you're going to pay a lot for him, but a guy like Tatis can have his way with a guy like Rodriguez. And he may not want to pitch to him. And, he's been stealing. He got 2 steals in the last 3 games. He's going to take off. He hasn't had one of them big games in a while, but this could be a series where he comes up, man, or starts on the way up with their bottom end pitcher they're throwing out here. So I like him, man. He's gonna pay a lot for Tatis. Gonna pay a lot for him, man. This team, man, they just got so much talent, man. I mean, I wish they was right there with the Dodgers, but they're not, man. They were underachieved this year, just like the Mets. This guy's been, I don't know, he's kind of right there. He's kind of doing his job, you know. It's like I want to say I expect more from Soto, but no hits against Arizona, you know, in the last game. So, you know, he hasn't went deep in a while either. So he's gonna do all that dancing he wants to. But again, him and Tatis, if they focus in on their pitch, this is a game where they can go back to back. So I like the offense in this game. I do. I like both the bats from both sides, man. I do. If one kind of look at Bogarts, and he is right. He's pretty decent too. He had that 34-point game against Arizona, the first one, and came back with a donut. Then he had 2 hits. So he's trying to kind of wake up a little bit, but at 4,800, you know, you look at that salary and what he's been putting out there lately. Outside the 34-point game, he's been very underachieving. So I mean, by the time if anything shake, most of the scoring probably will be already done by the time they get to where he is in the order. So unless he comes up with nobody on and no outs and does something, that's what you're going to be banking on. But he's still always in play, man. But I don't. At 4,800, I feel like what he's been putting out there, someone else can get you a cheaper price. You can get somebody to get you what he's giving you. Them 7 fantasy points at $3,000 or 3,300. I mean, it's nothing real special about Bogarts like that. He isn't on any highlight reels lately. So if Darvish comes out and pitches a gem, I tip my cap to him. But I respect the Orioles. So um, don't like any of the pitchers there. Do like the bats. All right, everybody knows the news about Franco. He's been on a restricted list. You know, he's been kind of radical there with the team, and he got that big contract, and a lot of older Hispanic players have been calling him out. He's been kind of a dark horse there within the clubhouse. So he's a talented guy. He's hurting his team right now. You know, they're kind of keeping it in house. Um, Manager didn't want to talk about it. He just said it was simply a day off, but they say he didn't even get on the plane with the team. So whatever it is, I hope the young man figures it out. You know, you look at his picture, he got a big gold chain on, so maybe the money is just kind of some of these players that get that guaranteed money and stuff, man. It just gets to them, man, and they lose the love for the game. Hopefully, it's not that, but you know, we saw Gurman having a lot of drinking issues and stuff, and it's just sad. You know, it does exist in this league. You got players that are alcoholics or they're addicts or to whatever. They have domestic abuse problems or battery issues with their significant others. You know, they show up late, don't come to team meetings, and they missing batting practice, they missing transportation time to leave with the team, and no matter how talented you are, I mean, you can only get slapped on the wrist so many times. So, big loss for them. Hopefully, it doesn't disturb the clubhouse because they still have a lot to play for. I think Glasnow comes back. I love Glasnow, but man, you just like bite your fingernails every time this guy comes on the mound. Because you just don't know if he's going to make it through the game. Decent ERA. Last star was back on the 31st, so he had some back issues that kept him out of the last one. But they're playing it safe. He hasn't pitched since July 31st, man. It's been almost 2 weeks, so it can either be a good thing or it can be rough. But when he's on the top of his game, as you can see, he's one of the best pitchers in the league. San Francisco does strike out a lot. He's a righty, and there you go. They're ranked 27th. He's worth a roster, 10,800. He's just got to hope that he can get you them 7 innings. He can get you 7 to 10 strikeouts, and maybe even more. So hopefully the rest is paid off. Hopefully he's got treatment. But I do like him. Um, if we look at the expected lineups today, we gotta look at how the offense have changed now that Franco's not there. Diaz still sits at the top. People like Arizarena and Ramirez, or they don't have to step up. Paredes, Siri, Margot, that's kind of a veteran. A lot of power. He can run. But Basabi and Pinto, they're just kind of there for defense. But Curtis Mead, he's kind of just trying to learn his way. But definitely not the same lineup without Wander in there. It's sad, man. Don't see Rayleigh allowed. Looks like they're putting all the righties they can up against Manea. So the Giants again, they were trying to do something there for a minute, but I think they're gonna eventually fade, man. Um, they just can't stay healthy. They're fading back. I mean, they're 8.5 back now. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They did win their last game, but they got a tough matchup against Glass now today. Honestly, yeah, they do. Um, I don't know what kind of lefty they're gonna put in that lineup, but Jock is in there. Just immediately looking. Say he's definitely someone that you gotta monitor. He won that World Series with the Braves, and he left. He's kind of platooning. They normally don't put him up against a lot of lefties, and he does DH at times. But it's been kind of very mid. It's like he's kind of even tapped out on the team. That's not Jock Peterson. That's not Jock Peterson Dodgers. That's not Jock Peterson Braves at all. He's been getting a little hit here and there, but no power to be seen. No RBIs, a lot to speak of. So I don't know what to really make of San Francisco. Like I want to root for him, but last night's gonna be tough, even on their righties. He's gonna be tough, man. I mean, I know they got Estrada in there. Let's see what he's talking about here lately. This should probably be a very low over-under. Estrada's, he's trying, hasn't went deep, hasn't really found his power yet, but I mean, here you go fishing for stuff for San Francisco. Anytime you go fishing for something, that's never good. That means the pitcher's in command. And is there any weakness that maybe someone in San Francisco lineup can take care of? He gave up a home run in the Yankees, won his Yankee start. 3 games in a row, he gave up a home run. So someone can get him. It could probably be Estrada or JD, or probably more likely like Jock, honestly. So look out to see if Jock Peterson starts. Estrada may come out of his slump. They're in San Francisco, so he hasn't pitched against him this year. It's kind of considered a pitcher's park. What the dimensions of that field. But he's looking great in this matchup. San Francisco strikes out a lot, so I won't put a lot of their juice in my lineup. I really don't recommend it, but if you want to take a risk with Jock and Thairo Estrada, those are your 2 guys. Yeah, those are your 2 guys, man. Honestly, Conforto, he had a good. He's playing good. 2 home runs in his last game. I mean, you can roster him. He's seeing the ball very good right now. So they do have some lefties that can give him some problem, but he's good. Glasnow's good, man. I mean, with Haniger being out and Yastrzemski being out, that hurts them. When Yastrzemski and Conforto are in there against right-handers together, they have a different looking lineup, man. So, I mean, Flores, he hits lefties very well, not righties. I mean, Conforto's in play, Jock is in play. And Estrada, man, those are the main guys, honestly. I mean, Wade Jr., if he starts, but I don't think that Glasnow's going to make a mistake to him. Hitless in his last 2 games, so be interested to see if they roll him out there. He's a lefty, but not really much to like there, man. So I don't really like too much San Francisco, honestly. So it's all Glasnow, man, but I mean, Tampa Bay ain't too far behind them. But they minus 135, not too heavy. Look, I knew it. 7.5 over under on the live bet. I don't see a lot of firepower in that game. I like the pitcher. I like the pitcher a lot. They're doing a bullpen day in San Francisco, so I don't like that either. So like, I don't know how the bats will look going up against a bullpen day for the Rays. That might hurt them, or it might be a good thing. So Menez ERA is over 5. You know, he used to be very good when he was with Oakland, but now he's kind of a journeyman now. So he's out in the bullpen now, so that's never a good sign. But he hasn't given up the long ball in any of his starts, even though he only goes maybe 1 or 2 innings. But not a lot of fantasy upside there because he's not going to pitch long. When Ryan Walker comes in, he's another one. So they're going to probably dish about 4 or 5 pitchers out there today. So Tampa Bay may pick their choices there, but a lot of this is going to fall on Arizona. Arizona's going to have to step up now. He needs to try. Hopefully, getting the 20 plus home runs is a goal of his. He hasn't went deep in a while. I've rostered him a few times. He's been trying to be productive. He's been active on the bases. He's gotten a hit. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 game hit streak. So he's always in play, man. I mean, if they're gonna win this game and score offense, he's gonna be especially with Wander being out. He's gonna be in there. Lowe is gonna be in there. He's a lefty. Hasn't won against him yet, but he hasn't went deep either. So somebody's gonna get a home run for Tampa Bay in this game. I don't know who it's gonna be, but maybe one of the lefties. So Luke Raley didn't do anything yesterday. So like Arizona, like Lowe and Raley, and Diaz. If you want to do a stack in this bullpen day, those are the 4 guys I'll put in there. Those are 4 guys. So he's hitting 323. He's doing his job as the leadoff hitter. Yandy is kind of sneaky, but yeah, he's good, man. So hope y'all like the stream and the breakdown. Go ahead and post this and get it up early. I have some lineups in, some winners take all. Might be in the $5 single entry. Just trying to just be productive. Alright, so man, yeah, 1 hour, 15, 16, 17 minutes. That's about right. Alright, good luck to you guys. Take care.